Hunter.
I'm Rebecca. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Showdown!
Hey, Kia ora, mates. Sorry, I'm gonna stick with that. I like it. How's it going, peoples? Welcome back to another crazy, wacky week of shenanigans and other stuff and summery things or wintry things, depending on what part of the world you're in. It's too hot here to be winter. Woo! Nasty.
All right.
So, what's up, sir?
So, I just want to start the program by saying I'm still on New Zealand time.
Yeah.
I cannot break out of that. Apparently that is my natural time period.
Meant to be.
So I'm going to bed at like 3 in the morning, sleeping for 4 hours, coming home, taking a nap. Staying up till 3 in the morning. So anyway.
Hello.
All right.
Yes, indeedy. It's, this is the zombie episode of Family Showdown. Yes. Oh, yeah. Tonight was all about the witticism. That's all him.
Witticism!
I'm not witty.
So welcome to those joining us.
Hey, peeps.
So last week we did kind of a New Zealand-Australia update.
It wasn't kinda. We are the new ambassadors for visiting New Zealand. And parts of Australia.
So, we didn't do an official resolution update because we only had one game played, and
We resolved to play one game.
and we didn't play too many since then. But they're
We played some games.
a bunch of heavy hitters.
We did, and we played some games that weren't on our list because we were trying new stuff too. So we cheated?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's just say our resolution of getting all our games played is in dire straits.
Hunter's gonna have to take a day off of work.
I'll give you all the statistical type goodness at the end. But needless to say,
badness.
Needless to say, some point near the first part of October, we're going to have a epic, long purge discussion. I'll tell you about how many games we're going to be talking about estimated for that show.
I'm a little bit scary.
You should be scared because that's a lot of games.
They must meet my approval.
All right. So,
Kabuki, you zonked too? Join the Loopy Club.
All right. So we're just going to jump right in to our resolution update. We played, and if you don't know, if you're just joining for the first time, we made a resolution to play our entire board game collection with all the
Kitty.
super kids games / mass markety type games.
Oh, okay.
All right, but all our main collection, family weight and above, designer board games, I guess would be a good name for it.
Ooh, that sounds so snooty though.
Snooty, designer.
We only play designer board games.
Board
With pinkies up.
So at current, we have 372 games in our collection. That's kind of oscillated up and down as we cull and add new games.
Yes.
But we'll get to the numbers in a minute. So we played 5 games. A whopping 5
That
games.
was in our collection, though. In our defense, we played more than that.
5 games that were counted towards the resolution update. And we're going to go from worst to first. Coming in at number 5. I rated this game a 3. I was being generous with my 3.
Better not.
You must have not put it in the grouping.
Are you talking about the one we played on vacation?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think that counted. Okay. Sorry.
It did actually count.
Yes, board gaming is riding the wave. Woo! It's a roller coaster. Hunter doesn't like Simon's cat. What's wrong with him? This game is adorable. Okay, the art's funny.
So Simon's cat. Imagine a more random Uno, but at least somewhat interesting.
Okay.
So a more random Uno with slightly more interesting.
It kept children entertained at the airport for An hour.
Now, this is a great kid. I think it's not great, but it's a good kids game. Just a quick little.
Just a fun little card game you can throw down.
I would rather play this than Uno. If that's saying anything.
Yeah.
If that's saying anything.
Well, yeah, because you get to clean up messes. You make messes. You're a cat.
The art is interesting, more interesting than Uno.
Well, yeah, it's got that silly Simon's cat art.
Little dog. I don't know. You want to talk more about it? That's all about I have to say about it.
Well, there's not much to it.
That's all I got to say about that.
He really summed it up actually fairly well. I mean, it's a very simple game, and you're trying not to end up with the cards. So you're trying to play, and it's matching the number or the color, and then people end up with them, and and then you have these messes, and the first person that collects at the end of the thing, it's kind of like an old maid card. You get that card at the end of each round if you're the one that has the most messes. And then you play until somebody has 3, I believe. And that's it. It's like an old maid Uno kind of game. That's
the girls liked it, so there you go.
Yeah, I kept them entertained at the airport. I never got, hey, you know what? I had this in my backpack the entire time. And not once did I get searched for bomb fragments or anything either. So, hey, deck of cards, good to go. It went through international airports, people.
Okay, next up is probably maybe one of the best worker placement introductory style games, but we're just burned completely out on this game.
I'm not. Speak for yourself.
I am burned completely out on this game.
But
Nessa loves
I was going to say
Stone Age.
Stone Age is still an awesome one to introduce to people, and Nessa's starting to figure out strategies for games like this, and she's enjoying trying to figure it out on her own. So she wants to play this from time to time, and I think she's exhausting her poor daddy. Yeah. But yeah,
this game's too long for what it is, in my opinion.
Maybe.
This should be a 45 to 60 minute game, and it lasts an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's because
it lasts an hour and a half.
All right. Well,
I don't care who you are; it lasts an hour and a half. Oh my god! Unless you're just boom, 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 going crazy with your turns and.
But it's a cute little theme, and there's little bits to play with. It's great.
Stone
family
Age is
weight.
Cute.
Yes, it is. It's cute. Okay, the hut part that's a little rated X, but the pieces and everything else.
I just think that you wouldn't think the Stone Age would be very cute. All the killing and.
Little kids don't see that in this. They're like, oh, look, I collected wood.
So I rated this a 7. It's a down from an 8.
Ooh.
That was rated before. It's dropped to a 7.
Scandalous.
For me.
Scandalous.
For me, 7.
Scandalous.
All right, next up, we got a conga line of 3 8s. Our last 3 games are all rated 8. The order of operations of these 3 games
Don't mind me.
is... The next one up is Eclipse.
Oh, you would pick the one that I have on the bottom of this.
Sorry.
Don't look over here. Okay, look at this. Look at
Eclipse.
this.
So this is a lot of people's favorite space-themed game. It's not my favorite space-themed game. So we at this point have 1, 2, 3 really solid space-themed games.
Just 3? I can count more than that. Just saying.
I'm talking like that same thing where you're flying around attacking each other.
Okay. I was going to give you some
flying around attacking each other space-themed games. This one's very Euro-heavy, but I'm starting to come to believe that I don't necessarily like attacking in my Euros. And Eclipse, if anyone tells you otherwise, it is a Euro game with some space fighting in it. Because it's all about logistics and resources and resource management and income and all that stuff. Then you do some space fighting on the side, which kind of just goes against the whole thing. I'd almost want it to be abstracted, kind of like Gaia Project is.
Yes.
Where you have all that resource management and you're building buildings and stuff, but there's no real fighting.
Yeah, because I think, like you said, the idea of it's great and all, but there's that sense, and some people don't have a problem with it, but again, we've noticed more and more. If you're working really hard to build something, and then and it takes several turns to do, and someone in half a turn can just go in and be like, bink, you know, and flick all these cubes off you just spent forever working on. Yeah. That just makes you want to flip the table.
I think I want my Euros to be Euros, and I want my attacky to be attacky.
They can have some Euro elements in the attacky, but not make it the
right,
art of the game.
TI4 has Euro elements, but
yeah,
it's very much a...
But it's not, that's not the heart of the game.
So needless to say...
That's where we're at.
Eclipse has been replaced by Zaya, Twilight Imperium, and Fleet Captains.
I was going to say... Well, and...
That's it.
Ascendancy.
4 games! There's 4
I was going to
games.
say, there's more!
There's 4 games.
Wait! There's more.
That I prefer over this game. But it's a great game. I mean...
It's a good game, but you got to remember... It's such a heart of the game. It just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it's really a mid to heavyweight Euro game with just kind of attack thrown in. So, anyway. But there are some hybrid, like Kabuki Kids, like she said, some hybrid games I like. I like Size, which is hybrid. But you understand there's...
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage is more...
But you expect the attacking, right?
Right. Anyway.
But yeah, there's
for
stuff.
whatever reason, Eclipse, I would prefer to play those other games over Eclipse. So it is
there you go.
On the outsies. It's out of here. It's evicted. It's been eclipsed.
Ah!
Next up is Lewis and Clark, the cat-ridden game.
Not our cat. This is
so story time before we talk about Lewis and Clark. So I bought this at the virtual flea market.
It's so awesome.
And I went to go pay for it, and the lady selling it to me went, "I'm so sorry, my cat attacked the box." And there's like claw marks.
I think it's awesome.
All over the box. So I think it just gives it character. It kind of looks like it's been on an expedition.
It's been seen by a grizzly.
Grizzly or a cougar got Lewis and Clark. So for whatever reason, I've put off playing Lewis and Clark, getting it / playing it for years and years. This came out when, like 5 years ago? When did it come out?
Years and years ago.
When did it come out?
I don't know.
Come on, work with me. Oh, they always hide these. 2014.
I thought it was 13. Hey, I was only 1 year
13.
off. Look at me.
Anyway.
Oh, you made that up?
No, so I hit this right here. I assume that's... I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, Lewis and Clark, I put off because a lot of people that I trust their opinions said it is a slog and samey, and they didn't like it. I liked this game. It was good. I kind of, if I was going to describe this to someone who's played Quest for El Dorado, or Race for El Dorado, depending on where you are, it's like that as a midweight Euro game with worker placement and resource management and other things going on.
Yep.
Because basically it's a race to get to the fort at the end of the rivers over the mountains at the other side of the America, and you get there by using cards and hand management and resource management and all sorts of stuff like that. It's got card collection, tableau building. It's got a bit of deck building, because I think you can, if I remember correctly, you can call cards out of your deck.
Yeah.
So it just reminds me of a Race for El Dorado with more oomph to it.
Yeah.
And it didn't take too long for us. We learned the game and played for the first time in slightly over an hour. So,
and boy, once you actually get your little engine going, you really take off. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I enjoyed it. And it went
or it
very
clicked
fast.
for us.
I think now that we know how to play, if we were to play this again, we could probably knock this out in 45 minutes. I don't know where. I guess people that are playing it like 5 players or
maybe
4
their
players.
engine's not kicking in or something.
But it actually says in the game, in the rules, do not play this 5-player unless you have all experienced players. So I wonder if a lot of people played it at the high player counts their first time, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to take forever."
Well, think about this too, because there are some movement things where you can't have 2 people in the same space. So if you had a whole chain of people, and you moved up somehow, but there's like 4 people behind them, you'd get kicked all the way to the back. I mean, there's some things that could happen that would really hose you up.
That's true. I can see that.
That if you weren't used to playing this game, it could hurt. The theme, I believe you are Lewis and Clark, members of the crew and stuff.
No, you're different. You're different expeditions.
Are we different expeditions?
Let's look. Because there's always a theme in these Euro games,
yeah, but
right?
on the cards it has the names of people that were involved with the Lewis and Clark expedition. It
says, imagine that President Jefferson sent not one, but many expeditions to explore the Wild West. There you go. You're one of those expeditions.
Okay. You are a random expedition that might happen to have
I was Lewis and Clark, and I did make it to the fort first. Anyway, I like this game. This is a good one. It's sticking around, all cat-clawed and everything.
I love it.
All right, next up, my favorite of the games that counted towards our resolution was...
We have 2 left.
You didn't get it off the shelf, dear.
Which one? Oh, whoops. How did that... Oh, I didn't log that as a play somehow. Or didn't record it.
Trick carry on! Trick carry on!
Whoops, whoops, whoops.
Trick carry on! Trick carry on! It's like a magic trick. I got nothing.
All right, now you're excited about sleeves. You found another reason that you feel...
I used to hate sleeve, but I realize now... I may have just learned this just now, and I should have learned this a long time ago. It keeps the box closed. Because if you look on our shelf,
yeah, we've got a lot of them.
Almost every box is like sticking like a 1/4 inch out. Like you could, I don't know if you can see up here.
Hey, Altiplano is hurting, man.
About a 1/4 inch sticking out.
Bruges is sticking out.
Anyway, so carry on. It's a heavy Euro game about doing magic tricks. So it's got worker placement. It's got resource management. It's got hidden action selection. It's got a lot of cool things going on for it. I like this one a lot. The only minuses I have with it is it's kind of a bear to teach it.
Yeah, it's
kind
got
of
a lot
bear to teach.
A lot of fiddly crap in it.
It's got a lot of logistics to
That's
it
my
too.
technical term.
Logistics. I call it logistics. When you have to you get 2 points for this, and you add this, and you strap 3 of these, and you get those, and boop, you get this many points.
Potato, logistics, fiddly crap.
So, I really enjoyed this game. I almost want to play it more. I've never got to play the Back Alley. I don't know if it's an expansion or whatever. I don't know if it's included with the Kickstarter or what. But I never played the Back Alley expansion. That looks interesting. But that's even more to teach. And every time I teach it, it seems like I'm relearning it / teaching it to new people. So we've never played the expansions. But I like this game. It's fun. It's a heavy Euro. Once you get it taught and get going, it's not that long of a game. It's about... we played it 3 players. And I think it probably took us an hour and a half to 2 hours. Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's a heavy Euro game. It's one of our heaviest games. We have the games.
Is it really?
We have the games mostly in order on our shelf from heaviest up the top row, and it's our 4th heaviest game, not including I think Indonesia. A couple of the some of the Lacerda games are higher up, but it's in the top 10 of our heaviest games. So
I had no idea because it doesn't feel like that to me.
Once you teach it, it goes pretty smoothly, but you have to teach it.
Yeah, because I didn't feel like it was that. It's like you grab elements to build a trick and then you perform it. The thing was the fiddly weird crap at the end.
The order of operations,
the
whole
what performing the trick.
What day of the week you're performing, you get pluses and minuses.
I feel like that's needlessly
and you almost have to go through a flow
confusing.
chart. Like I said, the logistics. You have to go through a flow chart to see how many victory points you get. But you only have to do it once. You do the calculation once every big turn, and there's only 5 turns. So you do 5 of those calculations.
But it's a big part of the game.
Yeah,
too.
if you don't know what you're doing, it's
annoying.
Difficult. But I do stuff like that for a living, so it's pretty easy for me to flow chart math.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like it. It's fun. This one doesn't get a lot of talk about, a lot of buzz. It kind of did its Kickstarter and
that's why Kickstarter
kind of gone its separate ways, and you don't hear anything about it. But I like it. I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's my favorite one of the ones that we played for the resolution. All right. So we played a couple of things in our collection that didn't count. They maybe should have counted, but I didn't add them for whatever reason. One's an expansion. We finally got to play Pandemic in El Laboratorio. So I got this game 2 years ago.
Was it really 2 years ago you went to Panama?
In May. So 2 years ago, last May.
Was it really that? Wow.
I bought this expansion when I visited Panama because I had to get a board game in Panama. So I got Pandemic in El Laboratorio, and then about a year later, I cracked it open and realized we have to have it On the Brink to play it. So we still haven't played it. So I borrowed Tommy's copy of On the Brink, and we played it. And I actually liked it. In the Labs tricks it up. It's completely makes the game very different.
Yeah.
So you have these petri dishes, and when you get cubes off the board when you're curing. If you played Pandemics, when you're curing the different diseases, you take cubes off, but instead of just kind of putting them back in a pile, they go into petri dishes, and then you do like experiments on them to figure out what the actual cure. You actually go through the motions of creating the actual cure, which is more thematic. I think it makes it more thematic.
I think it does too, actually, and it's fun. And plus, having it in Spanish, it was fun to kind of crack into our language skills a little bit and make sure, get those skills up to par.
But to come to find out, I read the rules all the way through, and you don't necessarily need on the brink to play one of the scenarios.
Needlessly delayed.
In El Laboratorio. The only thing you use is the Petri dishes, which is just for show. So, but it has some cool extra components that it added for the disease markers. You have little...
Nothing like some tasty disease.
You have little...
These are so cute!
Oh, I can't get it out.
I can get it.
I have no nails.
Well, I don't have nails either, but I can probably get them. 10 years later. Oh, there we go.
They have little cute...
Look at the cute little viruses.
Little disease markers.
Look at these diseases. Aren't they adorable?
And what's funny is I noticed that we have one of the... I don't know if it's the original version. But we have the wooden pandemic
We're
stuff.
old school. Old school, kicking it. Old school.
So anyway, it was pretty good. I would play with or without it. It's not like you gotta have it expansion, but it did make it...
That's cool.
It did make it more thematic, in my opinion. So, there you go. So I like that one. And then one I should have added to our resolution list, but I didn't for whatever reason, because I consider it all the same thing. We got to play Rebecca's copy of... No, that one. Just kidding.
Keyforge! Yeah.
So there you go.
It's cool.
Keyforge. So Keyforge, the new, I guess the next wave, I guess you would call it. The Age of Ascension cards. We got to play that. I think we played twice, and you got to play it, one more time. Mm-hmm. So she's played 3 games of it. It seems like the same game. It's just like Magic. They added a few new powers.
Yeah, it's just a new...
Few new little powers, but
new wave.
Pretty much it's the same game. So it's cool. I like it, Rebecca.
Extra Vox of the Hunter's Battlefield. We'll have another Hunter deck. The Overgrown Rose of the Repository.
That's not my favorite. My favorite was the
Princess who...
No, the new deck. The one...
Oh, where is that? I think I have... No, that's Blaze the Muscled. Where is it? Oh, Lord Almond Weevil the Civil Malcontent.
Lord Almond Weevil, the Civil Malcontent.
He's pretty awesome. No, you want the Hunter one, right? Are you talking about the other Hunter?
No, that's the one. That's one.
Oh, okay. The Civil... I mean, Almond Weevil? That is the... And he's a malcontent. But he's
civil.
But he's civil about it. Or maybe he means civil as in, like, government.
He's a government malcontent?
Yes. He's against the man.
Oh,
that Almond Weevil.
Alright, so that's all the stuff from our collection that we played. We did play 2 games that were bought to the heavy Euro game day that we played.
Do tell. Just 2?
Just 2. I'll go with my least favorite, and we'll talk about my more favorite. So, my least favorite of the 2, and I actually like both of these games to a certain extent.
Oh, jeez. Meh.
To a certain extent. Not quite meh.
So it's above meh.
A step above meh.
What's step above meh?
Eh. Alright, so I finally got to play Nations. I've been wanting to play Nations. This is not the dice game. This is the full-blown Nations massive Civ game. So I played it. It was... I'm glad I didn't purchase it because... A couple reasons. One reason is... It's very random. So,
it can be. Yep.
My preferred Civ game is Through the Ages. And Through the Ages, you played with every single card, every single game. You're going to see every card in all the decks, every game. You may not have a chance to purchase every card of every in the deck, but you'll see all of them. Nations has a stack of cards like
Kablam.
Like something somewhere between here and the roof of different cards that you play with. And you're only going to see like 20 cards. I'm exaggerating. Probably 60, 70 cards. But you're not going to see all the cards. So, in our game that we played, it was very resource poor because very few resource-producing cards came out. And if anyone knows anything about Civ games,
you kind of need those
resources are kind of important in Civilization
I
games.
did just fine. Okay, I didn't do just
fine.
So,
it was... And... I know it was a learning game and a first game, but it was just as long as Through the Ages.
It really was. Which
so it's like I'm trying to find a redeeming quality, and the only thing I can found I have to say something nice about everything. It has worker placement. Technically, But really, it's kind of just your flag. It's kind of like same way and through the ages you build buildings. It's similar. You put meeples on things to cause the cards to produce resources.
Yeah.
But if I were to own this game, or if I was to play this game again, I would have stacked the deck. I would
Filthy cheater.
I would say, this many resources, this many, each different type of building, you have an equal amount of those kinds of buildings so that it's a balanced game. Mm-hmm. I know some people like to react to weird stuff that happens in games, but let's say you build up an engine to do like some big stone production. You get like bonuses for stone, you're doing all this other stone stuff, and then no stone production comes out at all. You've wasted your whole game.
In it somewhere.
You waste your whole game building up to something that doesn't happen. And you can't recover from that. You can't switch gears mid-game because everyone else is blowing past you. But anyway, too many cards for this game. I would stack the deck. I would do the math and figure out how many of each card we should use and stack the deck.
Like work.
And you still shuffle it up and randomize it, but you're going to see at least 20% of the cards are resources and 10% of the cards is wonders and etc.
I just do all resources.
So... But
I like how he ignores the stupid commentary.
But I did like the game. And if I'd never seen Through the Ages, like if it didn't exist, we never met on a lonely night somewhere, I would actually enjoy this game a lot more. But every time as I was playing, I was like, well, I like this better in Through the Ages. Oh, I like this other thing better in Through the Ages. Oh, I'd rather do this that's in Through the Ages. So, what I'm saying is, play Through the Ages and throw nations away.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
So, the one I preferred of the two heavy games that we played was Automobiles. But I'm going to bring this almost full circle.
An oval.
Back to Eclipse.
With a chip in it.
Automobiles. So in automobiles, you're making automobiles. So you're basically producing automobiles. You're selling them. You're using salesmen and doing all sorts of weird stuff to produce automobiles. You're doing advertising, all these other things. But this game reminds me of Eclipse in the fact that why in a heavy Euro game do you make it so punitive and so attacky?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
It's really weird to me. And basically what it boils down to, and some people like their heavy Euro games this way. You could just have this great plan, and someone does one move, and boom, everything you did is just destroyed. I'm not a fan. I can understand a little bit of that. Obviously, you have to have some turn angst, and you got to have some competition and things like that. But it's just too much. It's too brutal. It's a brutal Euro game.
Yeah.
In fact, I would think some people wouldn't even call this a Euro as interactive as this game is. But anyway, so there you go. It just got weird. I must be talking about meeting through the ages at night.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. I would rate both of these a 7. Nations a 7 only because I strongly prefer Through the Ages. And Automobiles a 7 only because I don't like how mean it is. So, the full circle of thing is, I've come into the belief that I want my heavy Euros over here, I want my attacky over here, and very few games are going to be in this range.
I like this. Very little of this.
Very few of this.
Very little.
This is like Blood Rage and Scythe, and that's probably about it. I don't know what else is in here.
It's just, there's a few things flapping around. I think this should be a thing now. Is that it's this kind of game, and y'all know what we're talking about. And you're like, oh yeah,
it's attacky.
It's totally,
it's attacky and Euro-y. This is hybrid,
and it's really close to Happy Salmon. What just happened? Full circle.
Full circle. I don't know what just happened. So here we are. We have arrived at the stats that you know and love, or you despise.
No, Peter, don't tell him to reorganize the shelves. He's obsessive about that sort of thing. No.
When we do the big purge in October,
he'll be happy as a little.
There's gonna be a full shelf reorganization in October.
I'm gonna hand you a duster too, and I'll be like, "Go forth."
So here's the stats. We played 230 games out of our collection of 372 games. That's 61.8% of our games.
But we're not supposed to be only at 61%, I guarantee it.
282 days have passed in this resolution of 365 days,
Ouch.
which is 77.3% of the year. We have 83 days left. We have 142 games to play.
142?
In 83 days.
What are you guys doing right now?
So at the
Let's do a live play every Tuesday.
At the current pace we're going, assuming we maintain the pace we've had throughout the year, we're going to end with 298 games played. That leaves 74 games short of our goal, which means...
But you're saving some of the best games for last, so you're not going to say to me, "Oh, we have to call our best games."
We're not going to call all the games. We're not going to call... So probably the first show in October is going to be the justification show. So we're going to go through all the games we haven't played and justify why we should keep these games. The justification show. That's what I'm calling it. Justification.
Justification show.
So unless we have a nostalgic reason, like it was a gift, or it's sentimental to us for some reason, or there's a valid reason why we didn't get it played.
Okay.
Such as like TI4 just didn't get played, for example.
Where were you yesterday at 3 a.m.?
I was actually on the computer browsing new board games. But anyway, the Gen Con releases are on their way. They're going to start showing up soon.
Dude, what have you done?
So 74 short, so we have to justify...
The excuses show, yes. That's exactly what that is.
That could be the excuses show.
Or the salesman pitch. We could do a pitch like Lisa does.
I fully expect at least half of the games are going to be on the outsies.
Half?
Half.
I will probably take issue.
We'll see. I'm calling half are going. Half of the unplayed games are gone.
Oh, unplayed. I thought you meant the out of the
No,
collection.
the unplayed... Of the unplayed games, when we do the update, or the excuses show / justification show, I'm saying half of those games are going to be gone.
That's possible.
And then I'll need a U-Haul to when I go to Board Game Geek to sell all these games.
Or it just looks good
It just looks good on the shelf.
See, Peter, you got the right idea.
No.
The Hunter's like, meh.
No. I'm thinking 30, 40 games are going to be on the outsies.
That's a lot of games.
So, that ends the resolution update.
Oh, it's ended all right. There's no resolving anything, obviously.
So, being the person I am, and knowing that a large number of our fans are Dice Tower fans, let's discuss the Dice Tower being brought in-house.
Ooh, yeah.
So,
what do you guys think about all that?
So, I said on a show like many times ago, I was going to have a discussion point for every show. And this is your discussion point. Welcome to it. If you do not know, it was announced Monday morning that the Dice Tower Con, the convention held in Orlando, Florida, which is actually run by Patrick and his family, not the Dice Tower crew. The Dice Tower crew are basically guests. They make an appearance. They're guests to the show. They do events and things like that, but it's not their convention. They're bringing the Dice Tower convention in-house, and they're going to run it themselves, changing the name to Dice Tower East, and it's up in the air whether Patrick and family are going to have another convention that's not associated to the Dice Tower. So...
A needle pulling thread.
What do you think?
I'm curious.
What does that mean?
I'm intrigued. Well, as a con goer, and like Dice Tower Con is my favorite con to go to, really.
Dice Tower Cruise.
I like that, but I don't consider it a gaming convention.
It's a gaming. We played.
It is not a gaming convention.
We played 4 games when we were on the Dice Tower.
That whole time we played 4 whopping games. That is not a convention in my book. That is a vacation, straight up. Which yes, they can be both, but I like to get out too much for that. But for a board gaming convention, I did really enjoy the resort hotel aspect of it because that made it more I don't know, like cushy cozy, made it more of a fun event. That was just a nice little plus. Granted, we don't spend a ton of time in the room because we spend most of the time going out. But it's fun that, when we bring the family... We
literally did not do anything in the room but sleep.
Well, but like when I brought the girls, and it was just me and the girls, though, I did take advantage of more of the resort amenities. We went swimming more. We did, more stuff that I would have had to probably drive somewhere to do. And there were more food options, stuff like that like Katie got sick on me last time I went to Dice Tower Con. And so it was kind of nice to say, hey, you know what? Granted, we have really awesome friends that brought us stuff too. But worst case scenario, I just called and they had really awesome room service and all sorts of like food options and different things that a regular hotel would have been like, sorry, the hours for this are such and such, and you probably wouldn't have gotten that. And my kids love to swim and, and stuff like that. I do like the fact that it's going to be smaller, though. I know that some people are like, holy cow, but once it gets to a certain point, it starts to get too big for its britches, so to speak. And it seems like in that point, you start to get that element of... I don't know how to describe it, because it can happen in smaller conventions too, but it loses the family feel, the openness feel, and I think we start to get more. It's harder to. And again, this could be a logistical thing too, but it seems like it's harder to. The more people there are, the more you need to have people helping to keep it feeling the same way, I guess, to make it say the same thing. Right. So you're going to have probably more things slip through the cracks, or more, I don't want to say disciplinary issues because that sounds really weird, but I think you kind of get the idea what I'm talking about, like quirky things happening and stuff like that. And I don't want that to ever happen with Dice Tower, so I'm hoping that with the scaling back, they can find some happy medium somewhere where it's not too small, not getting too big for what it is. Because I think we were getting to where we were starting to approach that. It seems like... Because it was cool, don't get me wrong. I really like what it is. But, it was nice when they had... Before they... And it was cool having the whole resort, all that area and stuff. But having the one big gaming room when it was smaller, it was cool to be able to walk through that. And you could see pretty much everybody that's gaming that hadn't gone off somewhere else to game. And you could actually, it was easier to get a hold of people, get in touch with people. You're more likely to play with more people. It just seemed like you're going to see more people and get through more at the convention. And that's one thing I like. But some people enjoy it. To me, BGG Fall is a little bit too much. I get kind of overwhelmed after a while because there's so many people there. There's so many things to do. I have trouble narrowing it down and not overdoing. And some people love that. Some people love Gen Con and all those. But for me, that's just the right size. So the scaling back on that, for me, I'm kind of excited about it. I'm curious to see. It sounds like we're going to have better food options. Because you just walk into the mall and have a food court of things. Right. So any picky eaters, whatever, yay, everyone can get fed. Right. You don't have to worry about parking. That was another thing you talked about that I heard nothing but complaints about the last few years. Everyone hates the parking. Right. And I was always grateful that if I didn't have to move the car. That one time we got out, boy, it seemed like we paid for it, right? Right. So...
Yeah, we ended up having to park, at a tennis court, on the other side of the hotel.
It's like we might as well just walk from Disney or something,
So, so to kind of recap kind of what she said, the Dice Tower they're going to bring in-house, they're going to change to a regular hotel, a non-resort hotel. Mm-hmm. They're basically going to have 99% of the hotel booked. There's going to be a small contingent of pilots. They have rooms reserved for pilots because it's right next to the airport.
Yeah, but that's...
The hotel's right next to the airport. It's right next to a mall with a food court. It's right next to lots of different shopping places you can go to. It's not it's not a resort. So there's a normal hotel swimming pool. There's not a lot of amenities. I don't even know if there's room service. I doubt there's late night food other than I think a Starbucks stays open at night. Mm-hmm. Whereas you had almost 24-hour room service at the resort. I'm pretty sure it was 24 hours.
Oh yeah, you could get stuff. Well, even if you couldn't get room service, they always had that one little mini restaurant open that had coffee and snacks and food and stuff of some sort.
I think overall it's going to be cheaper. Obviously the rooms are not going to be as nice, but the rooms are going to be cheaper. The food's going to be cheaper if you ate on site at the resort hotel.
But it's expensive.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you, the girls, and the grandparents, if they went, a meal would be $150 to $200.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that was just a small little
that wasn't
a drink and a couple of things.
Yeah, that wasn't
meal.
A feast.
Yeah, and this would be, I've seen you go to a Sbarro or a Chick-fil-A and get meal for the family for like $40, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a completely different dynamic in regards to that.
He doesn't know the overall cost of the con yet. They're still working out all of the logistics and stuff for that.
I think he said the tickets are going to be $100, but he's not sure. And the hotel, I would guess the hotel is going to be probably 150 or so, whereas the resort was, the regular rooms were like 250 a day. The villas were more, but you can split the villas cost on many different people. I can understand the thing is because since I think it's almost, I don't know if this is the best way to say it, I think it's almost a control thing. If there's something that Tom didn't like going on to the convention, he can kind of suggest, hey, I'd rather this not happen. But it wasn't his call to do things or not do things. That's true,
yeah, and he does like
He didn't feel comfortable slocking their merchandise at that convention because even though it's a Dice Tower convention, it's not his convention, so he didn't feel comfortable selling Dice Tower stuff. So when they sold stuff at the convention, those weren't his stuff. That was the convention's merchandise, and they got the money for that.
Yeah, so they'll get more out of it probably with the new changes too.
But
they're gonna have to work.
It's gonna be a ton more work, and my biggest concern is when they ran the retreats for I don't know how many it was, 50 people. Mm-hmm. Is it 50? Yeah, it was 50.
Originally it was.
It was 50 or 100 people. They seemed like they were busy and working and like dealing with stuff, dealing with the hotel, dealing with things like that. This is exponentially more work, and I wonder if they're going to hire someone to
help them with that parts.
I know Jason's running the conventions, but he's doing that in his spare time. When you're running a convention like this convention, you're upping the size of the retreats. You are running the convention out in Vegas. You're running the cruise. Someone at some point has got to be a full-time convention employee. And I'm wondering they can't afford Jason. Jason makes really good money. I don't think they could pay Jason what he's making now to run conventions for them. Yeah. That is my worry is that, as far as it selling out, I honestly, this is just me. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I mean, they had 3,000 people this year. They're pulling it back to 1,800. I was surprised at how many people go to Dice Tower Con and don't even know who the Dice Tower are. They know Tom, and that's about it.
That's interesting.
Because if you're a part of the Dice Tower Con's website, it's changed names, but to whatever, I think it's Winter Escape or something like that. They're thinking about doing a winter convention. There is so many people saying, I don't know who the Dice Tower. I couldn't pick 3 Dice Tower people out of a lineup. I don't know. I came to game. You set up another convention, and I'll go. So I think
they might lose some
all the non-Dice Tower fan types are going to go one way, and all the Dice Tower, hardcore Dice Tower fans are going to go the other way. I mean, you'll have some bleed over back and forth and people doing both because, hey, it's another convention. But I think you're going to see a split of who are there see the Dice Tower and interact with them.
At least at first, right?
And then with those that they don't even know who the Dice Tower is.
Yeah, especially at first because the convention's gotten so big now. Everyone's going to be fighting for these tickets next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll be curious to see if if they just fly off the shelf or if it's going to be.
Or people get hesitant because of the changes or something.
I don't know.
You never know. It's true. Yeah. Well, and the date changed a little bit too. Didn't he say?
Yeah. It's funny. They said they kept the date changed, but they actually pushed it back. I was actually going to have a strong potential to go to Dice Tower Con next year, but they pushed it back to the week that there's no chance I can go.
It's making me so sad.
So I'm not going to be there. Rebecca might end up going.
I
me.
might, yeah. But I may potentially have a training that overlaps it now too.
I almost hope that they keep the same date and they're just in the wrong date, but I don't think that's right. I think it's supposedly the 1st through the 5th, and that is if you're an accountant in finance, the first week of the month is 0 chance of you getting vacation. So it originally was going to be like the 8th. Or actually the 8th through something else, 8th through the 12th or something like that, and that was doable. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I just find it curious to see how that's going to. It's kind of a sit back and watch to see what happens type thing, because Patrick, all things considered, for the size that convention ran an amazing convention.
Oh yeah, Patrick's
I wasn't
awesome.
there this year to see if anything went weird or went off the rails, but the two times I've gone have been amazing. I had an amazing time. I was
the 3 times I've gone.
I was starstruck going to every single event, and it's just
it's fun.
I go for the dice tower, and the gaming's part of it. Rebecca's kind of different. I think he more so go for the gaming and lesser extent the dice tower piece of it.
Oh yeah, I love joining the shows and doing silly things, the entertainment stuff. But yeah, and the gaming and just catching up with people. It was nice to have people that I meet at the con just to play games, and it's like the only time I get to see them. I think that's awesome. I love that. And so when I don't get to go like this year, I was really bummed.
All right, so that's your discussion point. So we saw some chat. The chat was mostly
and then there's like Peter's saying, sometimes too, if you're not one of the people that goes to the cons, it really doesn't, it's not going to affect you at all. It's more just watching the drama unfold, I guess.
I don't know how much there may be. I bet there's some drama behind the scenes, maybe, but I think it's kind of. I can understand the Dice Towers.
Oh, no, I don't think it's a dramatic
Dice Towers trying to make all their events kind of
their own.
Well, what am I looking for? Some symmetrical in the word. Equal. They're supposedly going to have the same library at all the places. They're going to have the same people at all the places. They're going to run the same things at all the places. They're going to make them all consistent, whereas he had no control. And he wants to pull back a lot of the extraneous stuff. He wants to get down to the gaming. Gaming's the focus, and then there's a little bit on top of that. Where it seemed like Dice Tower Con, there's from the time you walk in till the time you go to bed, there's events.
Yeah.
There's just events, things going on, things happening the whole time. And that's good and bad. I end up going to the con, I hardly game because I want to go to all the events.
I know. It's hard. It's hard to make that balance.
So Tom wants to pull that back and make the focus more gaming. If you go to BGG Con, that's kind of the same thing. They don't have very many events.
It's about playing games.
It's all about playing board games.
And that's why I like BGG Spring so much. And it's... yay, Peter! I hope you get to make
Identical,
it someday.
That's the
That'd
word
be so awesome, and it's so much fun. And BGG Spring is quickly becoming my very close second favorite because of that. Because I'm not worried about taking the girls, it's a little more family friendly, and there's so many. They have a lot of cool games. They always bring the Spiel games to play. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, but it is really focused just on the games. There's not a ton of events, and it's a blast, and that one happens to be local for us, so even better.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited.
So I don't want to harp on that too long. It just kind of
a curious.
It just kind of came out of left field, and I just thought we'd talk about it. So if you're watching this after fact, down in the comments, leave your opinions. Let's keep it friendly and amiable, and not too mean. Because I'm friends with both sides of the coin, right? Patrick's an awesome guy. I don't know if I've directly even met Molly, but she seems like a really sweet person.
I think I have briefly, and she's super sweet.
And Tom and crew, and our relationship with them. So I don't have an opinion either way. If I lived in Orlando, I'd go to both. So
yeah, I'm actually hoping. I was gonna say I hope Patrick and them are gonna be there anyway, just to play games or something.
Tom gave everyone an open invitation to come over and help with the Dice Tower convention. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I would actually like to play a game with them. They're always too busy to do stuff, and I would think that they would actually be fun to game with too.
Rebecca Con.
That would be pretty fun.
Rebecca Con. I like it.
It's got a ring to it.
Rubicon.
Crossing the Rubicon?
Rubicon.
I can think of all sorts of punny t-shirts now.
That's funny.
Oh, what have you started? Yeah. Dallas Games Marathon is fun. Latin con. Ooh, Tommy. What if you started?
Lexicon.
That is
I'll be here all week.
Lexicon. Oh, man.
All right,
The
so
possibilities are
we
endless.
chatted a lot longer about the dice tower than I thought we would. So
Rome demands a reprint. I like it.
see. All right.
So when are you guys playing Leaving Earth?
I told you
Kabuki!
as soon as you either come to Dallas to show me or I end up going to New Jersey at some time. We are going to make a trip to New York at some point. If you want to meet like halfway, like on the bridge.
On the bridge, we'll play on the
We'll
bridge.
play on the bridge between New York and New Jersey. Is there a bridge? I think there's a bridge, right? There's a bridge.
Dude, there's land. You know that. We
There's
don't
a
cross
bridge.
an ocean
There's a bridge, right?
to get to New Jersey.
It's a bridge or something, right? I'm not from that part of the world. George Washington Bridge. I knew there was a bridge. All right. So, wow, tangent. All right, so next time around we're going to be doing a top 10. We're going to get back in the swing of top 10.
I gotta pick a top 10.
It's to be determined because I haven't done the math.
Top 10 TBDs.
I haven't done the math on whether there is 10 nature games that aren't animals. Is there enough in our collection?
Nature games that don't have them or aren't...
that aren't focused on animals.
What? I don't think there's enough games for that. Because some of the games have a focus on animals. Like fauna.
So next time we're going to do our top 10 to be determined.
I called that, did I not? I said top 10 TBD.
Top 10 to be determined. We'll do a top 10 list next time. The time after that, we're going to do a resolution update, but just to tease it, we're going to have a live play.
Yes. Of?
Just us.
Of?
Normally it doesn't, you play in teams, but it's just going to be us. A live play
Wow.
of UGTech.
You guys are in for it.
So next time is a top 10 to be determined.
Wait. Are we going to train first?
Yeah, we'll do a practice.
Oh, yes. We might film that, too.
So live play of top 10 next time. The time after that, resolution update / UGTech Live. So, in the midst of all this weekend, in fact, in a couple of days, in fact, is our
8th annual.
8th annual Tournament of Champions.
Thomas and Tournament of Champions.
So we'll be discussing Tuesday as well, probably after the top 10.
My imminent victory.
Talking about my victory
Nope.
in the Tournament of Champions. Nope. In the mist. Yeah, I'm from Texas. Sorry. It's mist instead of midst. In the midst.
They do weird nonsense.
In the mist.
I don't know.
That's a Texas thing. Mist. Midst. There's a D in there somewhere, right?
Yeah. Do you go wash stuff too?
I used to wash stuff. I had to train myself not to say that.
Yeah, I bet. Your whole family says wash, huh?
Yeah, they do. Every one of them.
My family says it too sometimes. Yeah.
What just happened?
I don't know. They said ouch. Oh, they're still talking about crossing that dang bridge. It's $12.50 to cross a bridge.
Okay, you're gonna have to come to me in New York to play if it's $12.50.
Whatever it's worth it. I pay $12.50 to see Kabuki.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap up, folks, because I am running on fumes. I did my best. I survived.
You did
53 minutes. That's not too bad. I almost made it the full hour. Leaving New York City doesn't have a toll. Oh, so I'll come to you then.
They force you to leave.
We'll meet at the Newark airport.
Ooh, an airport?
I don't know.
That sounds like sketchy.
It'd be thematic. You got like spaceships and
planes. At the airport. You have a briefcase of money, but
top 10 games you could buy for $12.50. We did top 10 $25 games. $12.50 games.
$12.50. That'd be rough.
That'd be tough.
Hey, I bet this one comes close.
All right, so we're going to get out of here. We're going to try... Underneath this table is Raccoon Tycoon. We had a request of how it plays 2-player.
And we have not yet played it 2-player.
We have not yet played it, but we're going to, so we're going to give you an update on that as well. So I'm curious how it plays. We're going to play the quick auction variant, where we just get one bid and you're done.
Ooh,
so
this will be fun.
So,
Hunter's going to blurt out $50.
$50.
$5. No.
All right, Rebecca. Rebecca
Con.
Rebecca us out of here.
Rebecca. That sounds like a country western. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week with top 10 awesomeness, or if nothing else, maybe some crazy sleep deprived shenanigans. Either way, it'll be exciting. Bye.
Can't find the cursor.
Bye forever.